Hi, my name's Antonio Lulic and you're watching Keeping Track.
And send me back. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is this what I'm meant to be? Oh.
I would describe my music to people that don't know my stuff yet as being something a bit rockier than a regular singer-songwriter. I try to be a bit bigger on stage and a bit louder on the record. So yeah, it's something between folk and rock, but not folk rock. I remember the exact moment I decided I wanted to be a guitarist and a singer, because I used to be a drummer before I was a singer-songwriter. I was a drummer, and I got sick of carrying around all the equipment, like a huge drum kit, and getting no applause. Like nobody was giving me any attention, and I was like, hey, I could do what he's doing. I could be a much better singer-songwriter than he is. There are three things that you can that you need to be a successful musician. One is talent. One is good luck. You need to be very fortunate, and you need to work hard. And the funny thing about those three things is that you get more talented by working hard, and you get luckier by working hard. That's how Ed did it, right? Ed never had a job as a bartender or serving coffee. He never got a part-time job to pay the bills. He just did music. That's all he did. Morning, noon, night, music. And now he's the biggest actor in the world. Ed and I started in the same place in London. We were doing the same shows, these small acoustic shows in bars around London, and we've gone in a similar direction. Although he's gone a bit further than I have, I'll grant him that. But yeah, going from playing empty bar rooms to playing stadiums that's the dream. That's what everybody wants to do, right? But it's incredibly difficult, and it takes a long time. I have a very specific memory of seeing Ed before a show in a bar, and he had his laptop out. He had a little white Apple computer, and he was just putting blank CDs in and burning copies of his own record off, and then writing Ed Sheeran on them, and then selling them for £5. And that's how he made enough money to pay for food. I also have a memory of him saying to audiences at the end of a show, like, "Oh, I've nowhere to stay tonight, so can I sleep on somebody's sofa?" And every time somebody would say, "Yeah, sure," but he never had to pay any rent. It's clever.
I'm in the city of Austin, Texas now, trying to get over you. In the morning I'll be boarding.
The fans in South America are the biggest, kind of most passionate fans on a world tour. Like, people camp out for days outside the hotel, standing in line for the venue for like 2 weeks camping. That's dedication. It's passion, and you can hear it when you get on stage. As soon as you walk out on stage, the roar of the fans is extraordinary, and they're really supportive. As a support act, as the opening act, I don't expect anybody to know my name, but like every show we've done on this tour, people have been chanting my name before I've even walked out on stage. This is the dream. Like, there's no, like, to go to play stadiums in Sao Paulo, like, it might have been another 5 or 10 years before I ever came to Brazil on vacation, but now I get to come here and stay in fancy hotels and and play to thousands and thousands of people. No, it's incredible, and I have to pinch myself every now and then to remind myself that it's not a dream. I'm the lucky one because I get to play on the stage, and I get to do the shows, and I get to do the tour. But I can walk down the street and people might tap me on the shoulder and be like, "Can I get one picture?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." But I get to have a relatively normal life. I still get to be anonymous and get my privacy. On the last tour 2 years ago, I got to visit the Christ the Redeemer in Sugarloaf Mountain because Rio was the last show I played, and I got to spend some time in Rio just being a tourist, and it was really, really nice just hanging out in Rio. And what was funny was I had a tour guide showing me around, kind of like getting me into all the places, but we were walking up towards the Christ the Redeemer statue, and all of these fans who'd been at the show the night before ran out and they were like, "Antonio, Antonio, Antonio." And I was like, and the tour guide was like, "Wait, are you somebody?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not somebody." Like, and I looked up the statue, I was like, "He's somebody."
It's the sound of the girl next door singing.
After the last tour, I came back and did these shows in parks, and that was just because I wanted to come back and keep up the relationship with the music fans here. That was it. And I looked at venues. I looked at kind of like concert venues and bars and stuff, and it was all going to be really complicated. And I didn't have anybody here in Brazil or in Chile to kind of like help organize stuff. And so I just thought, what's the best way? What's the simplest, the easiest, most direct way to get back in front of fans out there? And so I just picked a bunch of parks. I was like, let's just do the shows in parks, and it was the easiest possible thing. And in here in Sao Paulo, we had like 100, 200 kids just turn up and sit in the park at and I played music for 45 minutes. Then I spent 2 hours like signing autographs and selling CDs. It was great, and that's exactly what you want. Like it wasn't like there was no wall between me and the fans. It wasn't like a stage and lights and anything like that. It was just music. It was just a guy playing guitar in a park. I really enjoyed it. My main message to fans that see us at the shows is just to stay in touch, because it's very easy to go and see the show and be like, okay, that was a great show, and you go home and that's it. But like the best thing for us musicians is if fans, communicate on Twitter and like Instagram, things like that, social media. It's great that we can do this now. You can literally like send me a message on Facebook and I get it. It's brilliant how personal it is. I just want to like get to know the people that like our music and find out what songs they like and what they want to, when they want us to come back and play, that kind of thing. When Ed was touring this time, I said like, can I come and do South America again? And he was like, yeah, like, because he'd seen all the stuff on social media, fans saying, come back, I want to see you again. And that is actually meaningful, right? Because it's important, like, for the people that organize these tours to know, okay, they actually do want to see him again. He didn't screw it up last time.
Because the blues hound is calling. I wanna go out tonight, great. Show me the big city, baby. I wanna get into a fade, alright.
So coming up, I have a single coming out on the 16th of June, which is called False Positives. That one is about a Brazilian guy, actually, called Jean-Charles de Menezes, who was murdered by the police in London 12 years ago. It's a very, very sad story, and I'm really angry about it. And I've been writing the song for 12 years, and it's finally, I feel like I've written the song, and I'm playing it live, and the response has been really good, but it's a very hard song to sing. It's not a very happy song at all. But that's coming out on the 16th of July, and that's from a new EP that I'm releasing called Departures, which is coming out at the end of September this year. And then after that, I'll probably do another tour around October time. And hopefully at the end of this year, I'll be able to come back to Brazil and do some more shows here.